Hello and welcome to Flight Path. I'm Chris Jones, the Chief Marketing Officer at McCarran International Airport. With more than 50 million passengers coming and going, 2019 was a record-breaking year for McCarran. But the airport is more than a busy travel hub. Here's a look back at some moments that enhanced the passenger experience and brought the McCarran community together.
The team at McCarran worked tirelessly in 2019 to deliver a memorable experience for visitors and local travelers alike. From supporting the community to offering a dazzling first and last look at Las Vegas, a commitment to hospitality was shown throughout the year. When federal workers faced hardship during a government shutdown in January, the McCarran family rallied around them. Employees opened a pop-up pantry filled with household goods and coordinated meal delivery for those hardest hit.
Does anybody know what this says? Airport. Airport?
In February, staff participated in Nevada Reading Week, sharing a love of books and a peek at careers in aviation with children at Doris French Elementary School.
The students have been really excited to have guest readers from the airport because we do see it. We're in the flight path and we hear the airplanes every day over their school. And so to have that related field here gets them kind of tied into their community.
So this whole area is run by East Ramp Control.
In the spring, even more area students were given a chance to learn about careers in aviation.
This is an outstanding opportunity for our cadets to see what opportunities they have in the future once they get out of our cadet program. They have opportunities in the Air Force, they have opportunities in the civil airline industry.
Cadets with the Civil Air Patrol enjoyed a behind-the-scenes tour of the airfield, and the annual Take Your Child to Work Day allowed employees to show the airport off to their children. To give passengers a taste of Las Vegas entertainment as soon as they step off the plane, McCarran hosts live music events each month. The Voices of Vegas program included performances by a one-time American Idol contestant, a ukulele-playing Southwest Airlines employee, a singer known for his rendition of the national anthem at Vegas Golden Knights hockey games, aspiring DJs, a high school mariachi band, and elementary school choirs. June marked the beginning of new air service from Amsterdam on KLM and from Tel Aviv on El Al.
And it's just so natural to put Las Vegas as a destination from Tel Aviv today. So we have the gold triangle, Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Las Vegas.
Here's to Clark County Airports and Air Relief.
Two of Clark County's general aviation facilities, Henderson Executive and North Las Vegas airports, celebrated their inclusion in the Air Elite worldwide network of airports. It was also a chance for North Las Vegas to show off a complete terminal remodel. The Department of Aviation hosted its annual Paper Plane Palooza in July. With help from employees airport-wide, children from Boys and Girls Clubs of Southern Nevada competed in paper plane throwing contests and took home backpacks filled with school supplies just in time for the start of a new school year.
The best thing is being able to see the kids' faces, participate, teach them everything about aviation. It's a blessing to be able to come out here and have fun.
Right over here, please. ID.
Allegiant Airlines and the TSA worked with airport staff to host a Wings for Autism event in September. The event was a travel dress rehearsal for local families with children on the autism spectrum.
I travel a lot for business, but they don't get to, so we thought, hey, what a great opportunity to let them have the experience and see how it goes.
The TSA also showed off its Innovation Checkpoint, a live testing environment for new security screening technology.
In terms of really evaluating the equipment's applicability for an airport, you need to be in the actual environment, assessing how passengers react to it, assessing what kind of training our officers need, and assessing what kind of communications can better help passengers make their way through the security checkpoint.
At the annual Chili Cook-Off, Bake Sale and Raffle, Department of Aviation employees raised more than $10,000 for United Way of Southern Nevada.
Present! Up!
To honor military service members, McCarran was proud to help American Airlines welcome a group of wounded warriors to Las Vegas for Veterans Day weekend. The annual Salute to the Troops event included a celebratory water arch and special greeting by police, firefighters, the TSA Color Guard, and USO volunteers. Guests were treated to a long weekend of fine dining, sightseeing, and relaxing. Throughout the year, McCarran employees volunteered their time outside of work. The Landside Division participated in several cleanups at area parks and outdoor spaces. And the Community Enrichment Team helped out at the Salvation Army, Catholic Charities, 3 Square, and at Opportunity Village's Magical Forest.
3, 2, 1.
The holiday season at the airport got underway with the annual tree lighting ceremony and a performance by the Doris French Elementary School Choir. With a record-breaking 51.5 million passengers, 2019 came to a close on a high note. The entire airport community came together to celebrate this milestone in true Las Vegas fashion.
McCarran is a vital part of Las Vegas's tourism-driven economy. It's also a bridge between the travel industry and the people of Clark County. That's why the mission at this airport will always include a commitment to the community.
We hope you've enjoyed that look back at 2019. And now as we move forward into 2020, we'd like to get together with some people who are key leaders here at the airport and talk about what they're working on, what they've been doing, and how 2020 might improve the airport experience for you as a traveler and everybody who comes through Las Vegas to visit us. And to do that, we're going to sit down today with several key leaders, starting with our Director of Aviation, Ms. Rosemary Vasiliadis. Rosemary, we've just come off a year in which we set a record high in terms of our passenger numbers for the third consecutive year. Talk to our viewers about what that means for this community and how important it is to continue to see that level of growth.
Well, what I think it means is that the vitality of Southern Nevada comes through this airport and is basically reliant on this airport. So as the community grows, as the community diversifies, no matter what happens in Southern Nevada, part of it comes through the airport. And we see that with our continuing growth. So now with our third year in a row and hitting another watermark amount of passengers coming through, we have to make sure that we're always going to be ready with everything that's on the horizon to come.
And you talk often about how unique the airport is in this community. What are some of the things that we can expect to see different in terms of the uniqueness of this market in 2020?
Well, we know with the NFL stadium opening up, with the convention center expanding and doubling its footprint, that is going to have a direct benefit to, of course, Southern Nevada, but also upon the airport as well. So we have to make sure that we're ready to be able to accommodate that growth in a seamless manner. What happens here with the hospitality industry, that's still our number one industry, is that it's discretionary. People choose to come to this destination, and we want to make sure that the airport isn't going to be a bump in that decision making to come back to it, that we have enough capacity for every part of the experience, either upon arrival and upon departure.
Thank you, Rosemary. And that's a great setup for our next question and with our next guest, Ralph Lepore, our Deputy Director. Customer experience is something that we focus on very much here at McCarran. A lot of things have happened in 2019. A lot more is going to happen in 2020. Tell our viewers about some of the things that they might see when they come through the airport this year.
You hit it on the head about the guest experience. And it's an integral piece to McCarran, especially the fact that, as Rosemary mentioned, we're a very discretionary market. And one thing that we do at McCarran is we listen to the guests to really determine how do we better that guest experience. Lift and Uber are our common T&C terms. If you recall, we did listen by relocating our pickup areas to make it a much easier flow and progress to go from the terminal baggage claim directly through to the parking garage for T&C pickup. The other component to the guest experience is, let's talk about the checkpoint. Checkpoint is an integral piece to the experience. It's in the middle of your experience. Over the last 18 months, TSA came to us about an innovation checkpoint for our zero level. And they wanted to test new technologies in a live environment for guest screening. And we're like, that's great. You know, one of our goals is to be the first. TSA Administrator David Pekowski said that his goal that over the next 5 years was to roll out a lot of different technologies like credential authentication technology to other airports. Guess what? It's already here. This is all going to make the experience not only quicker and more effective for our guests, but also take a look at how better the screening is going to be.
We've done a lot of work to enhance the AV checkpoint. Talk about that as well.
Yes, we increased 2 lanes there at the AV checkpoint. We actually expanded the complete operation by including some of the new technologies that we just talked about, automated screening lanes, credential authentication technologies, 2 additional lanes to help get the throughput and the experience better. And so that has been a huge improvement, and it's just been a great project in partnership with the TSA. Like we've said, you know, the 5-year plan for TSA is happening now at McCarran, and it's only at McCarran that this is occurring.
Thank you, Ralph. Now let's turn to Joe Perkowski, our Chief Financial Officer. Now, a lot of people at home might not get as excited as you do about interest rate changes or bond refinancing, but those things do matter to the travelers. Tell them about what you do and how that affects what they see when they come through the airport, and maybe what they pay when they come through the airport.
Yeah, so 2019 was a key year. We refinanced over $1 billion worth of debt, and what we did was take advantage of the low interest rate environment. And what that does is it allows for us to save money on our overall debt service costs, which we can then pass on to the airlines.
We talk a lot about a term in our industry called CPE, or cost per enplanement. What does that mean ultimately to the people that are buying tickets and coming to Las Vegas, whether they're locals or whether they're visitors?
So the CP is basically the average cost per enplaning passenger that it costs to operate the airport and what the airlines pay. And with the savings that we've just accomplished in 2019, we're able to pass some of those savings on to the customer for 2020.
And that's important in a leisure market because people want to have that value, correct?
Correct. A leisure market typically means discretionary spend, and discretionary spend is very price sensitive, so having a lower cost allows for more discretionary spend.
Joe, I want to come back to what you said. We refinanced more than $1 billion, and the savings were in the millions.
That's correct. We refinanced over $1 billion, and we saved about $500 million in present value savings.
For the viewers at home, what's our normal operating budget? I mean, this is a big, big department, and they may not understand that.
So our total O&M operating budget's about $280 million.
Thank you, Joe. All right, we'll turn now to Jim Chrisley, one of our other deputy directors. And Jim, you've been very involved throughout 2019 and well into 2020 on many of the improvements that we're seeing, capital improvements, some of the long-term projects. Tell the viewers at home some of the things that you're working on that they may soon see when they come through the airport.
You know, as Rosemary mentioned in the beginning, we are at new territory, third record-breaking year. 51.5 million people came through this airport last year. And there's no signs of slowing down, to include the stadium and other things. So what we've been doing is trying to figure out where we can gain capacity, efficiency, and reliability in our infrastructure. So how do you do that? You look at everything. We've looked at our roadways, we've looked at our electrical systems, we've looked at our air conditioning, our baggage handling systems, as well as our checkpoints, as Ralph mentioned, and continue to look at our system of airports as well, to look at Henderson and North Las Vegas and how they can be improved to increase our ability to handle the increased workload. Specifically with the roadway study we just finished up last year, from that we're looking at 2 projects this year that will affect our customers and people traveling to the airport. As everyone knows, that's one of the things, is getting stuck in traffic coming to the airport is not a pleasant experience, and we need to look at that and make it better. So the first one we're looking at this year, which is already under design, is to look at the intersection at Paradise and Russell. How do we increase the ease of flow for our passengers to get south on Paradise to Terminal 3? There's 3 lights currently. The project we're looking at is called what they call a high T, which will allow a free flow through that Russell intersection for our passengers going to T3. Even more importantly, at Terminal 1, you know, as we, on our busy days, coming into the departures curve, the drop-off experience can be backed up, it's congested. And one of the biggest things we found is when passengers are getting dropped off on the center curb, coming across to ticketing, they slow traffic down. So as we've done on the Strip, we're looking at how do we separate those passengers and vehicles. So we're looking at escalators, elevators, to get the passengers up and over departures curb to get them into ticketing. That's going to really provide some huge benefits in traffic flow into departures. Additionally, in baggage claim, you know, as Ralph mentioned, the passenger bridge, how do we get people up and over to the garage more efficiently to, once again, deconflict passengers and vehicles? So we're looking at adding escalators, both at a baggage claim up to level 2, as well as from level 2 down to passenger pickup. So there'll be up and over capability as well in these 2 projects coming soon.
I imagine, Jim, one of the challenges you deal with is people don't realize this airport is a mix of many different buildings that were built over different eras. You have the AB gates that opened in the 1960s. Travel was a lot different then than compared to Terminal 3, which we're in right now, that opened in 2012. How does that challenge you, and how does that make it difficult maybe to integrate some of these things, but in the end, I'm sure that's what excites you about your work?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a challenge, right? And it's a good challenge. We're busy. Times are good. So we have to, airlines are putting more people on airplanes. Our hold rooms were designed in a different era. How do we maximize what we have? Part of that is the hold rooms. We have a project going forth that's going to shrink unusable space and try to increase seating capacity in those hold rooms, as well as improve the look. You know, we've done AB gates already. We're moving to C gates and then on to D gates as well. But it's a challenge to keep up with the changing industry and aging infrastructure, and it's just a constant, how do you look, evaluate, and act? And that's what we're trying to do, is act to make these improvements now.
One of the things that's been in the news is talk about a new airport out near the California-Nevada border along I-15. What's happening with that in 2020, and what might people be getting to see with that project?
Yeah, we've had a lot of development over the last year. As you know, we've resumed the planning efforts for our environmental impact statement that's required to get that project going for the past year. But most recently, we've finally brought on board a consultant to help us really finalize the plan for what that airport will be, needs to be, and the construction timeline, or the timeline moving forward. So this year will be a lot of development on the planning side, and hopefully by the end of the year, we'll have a really good method of how we're going to move forward with that airport.
But from what you've been saying, the idea is to maximize McCarran first.
Absolutely, and to remind everyone, that airport that we're looking at is supplemental. McCarran will be here for the future. We're not looking to get rid of McCarran or replace McCarran. It's going to supplement McCarran. In all scenarios going forward, McCarran will be maximized, so we really need to start thinking about that now.
It's a long-term project.
Long-term, and we need to do a lot of things here at McCarran to get us to that point.
Jim, I appreciate it. Well, Rosemary, we've heard a lot about different things that are going on within the department that you oversee. Talk to us about the overall importance of this airport. All of these things all point to a road, but yet maybe people don't understand how important and how integral this airport is to this community and what we do and how we live.
Well, what we do know is that the world comes through this airport, and we have to accommodate the world. We have to accommodate different cultures. The new businesses come through this airport. I mean, one thing that's very exciting to us right now is that the business community obviously has a lot of confidence in this airport with their development and what they're investing billions in Southern Nevada, because such a large percentage is going to come through this airport. You know, traditionally we've had our visitors and tourists at about almost 50%, and then our convention delegates are 70% come through the airport. That's going to continue. You know, we work very closely with the chambers of Southern Nevada because those businesses rely on this airport as well. You know, new entrants, new international airlines, as much as, of course, they're making the decision to come to the destination of Las Vegas, but they have to be assured that that operation is going to be seamless and low cost. And so all of that takes a part in every decision making, and we are part of all of those decisions. So we have to take that very seriously. You know, with the recent economic study that we completed, we know that 25% of all jobs in Southern Nevada are related to this airport in some manner. So that puts that importance highlighted in every decision that we make.
With all of those jobs, with all of those new businesses, I imagine this system has a tremendous economic impact on Southern Nevada. What did that study tell us about that?
So what that study concluded was that the value of this airport was $35 billion. But what's really exciting about that is that we had one done about 5 years ago, and we were at $28 billion. So that increase really shows that confidence that we talked about before. Confidence in the business community, confidence in the hospitality industry, and confidence of all the investments yet to come.
Nothing but good things in store for this department. Aviation in Clark County is a major contributor to the economy of Southern Nevada. A recent study found that McCarran and its supporting aviation system are a $35 billion economic engine. Here's more on the study and the Department of Aviation's impact in this community.
Clark County's airports bring the world to Las Vegas. They also pump money and jobs into the local economy while making travel convenient for residents.
The Clark County Department of Aviation is comprised of McCarran International Airport, Henderson Executive and North Las Vegas Airports, Jean Sport Aviation Center, and Overton Perkins Field. According to a recent study conducted by Oxford Economics, McCarran and its sister airports generated nearly $35 billion in economic output in 2018. The study also found that aviation in Clark County supports 250,000 jobs, or nearly 1 in 4 local jobs, and is responsible for 18% of the area's gross domestic product. Airport activity was found to support 25% of jobs in Southern Nevada, including nearly 175,000 positions in the hospitality and transportation sectors. McCarran alone contributed 246,000 jobs, while Henderson Executive and North Las Vegas airports supported more than 1,900 jobs respectively.
Well, aviation, the economic impact of aviation, 80% is attributed, again, directly to McCarran, and that's international, that's our national visitors, and as importantly, it's our locals.
Visitors who arrived by way of the busy travel hub spent $12.5 billion, while international visitors spent nearly $6.2 billion. Clark County residents made frequent use of the airport as well, taking 9.2 million trips from McCarran in 2018.
The number one reason is simply McCarran Airport is what people see when they first arrive, and it's the last thing they see when they leave Las Vegas. And that customer service, that experience at the airport, so important to the overall Vegas experience.
Oxford Economics spoke with local business leaders who noted that McCarran was often a factor in their decisions to relocate their operations to Southern Nevada. They found the airport was able to meet their needs in supporting operations and conveniently flying in clients and team members. The confidence of the local business community in the airport's ability to accommodate record numbers of travelers is apparent. Currently, billions of dollars are invested in new construction in the hospitality, convention, and entertainment sectors. McCarran welcomes additional visitors each year while also opening the door to new markets. Businesses are better able to serve clients thanks to the airport's convenient location and top-notch service. And the airport's global reach contributes to overall economic diversification.
All this means the growth and success of the greater Las Vegas area will continue to be tied to aviation in Clark County.
Beginning October 1st, travelers in the United States won't be allowed through airport security without flashing a real ID. Not sure if you have a real ID? You're not alone. Here's what you need to know to make sure your ID will fly.
Later this year, the Department of Homeland Security will officially begin enforcing the Real ID Act of 2005. That means your standard driver's license will no longer be acceptable for air travel.
A Real ID is a state-issued driver's license or identification card that meets the national standards for all 50 states. According to the U.S. Travel Association, a majority of Americans are unaware of the October 1st deadline, and many either have a standard driver's license or are unsure if their license is Real ID compliant.
So the actual first step is to go to our website, make an appointment, and then make sure you have all the correct documentation. What you need is either a birth certificate or a passport or U.S. issued immigration documents. You need proof of your Social Security number, proof of any name changes, and you also need 2 documents that show your Nevada residency, utility bills, mortgage, lease, those kind of things.
Passed by Congress in 2005, the Real ID Act enacted the 9/11 Commission's recommendation that the federal government set national minimum security standards for the issuance of sources of identification such as driver's licenses. The Act prohibits federal agencies such as the Transportation Security Administration from accepting ID cards that don't meet these standards for official purposes, such as going through airport security and boarding a plane.
A lot of people aren't sure whether they have a real ID or not. It's real simple. You pull out your driver's license. If there's a gold star in the upper right-hand corner, you've got a real ID. You're good to go. The non-real ID cards are marked not valid for federal official use.
People who plan to travel but don't have a driver's license with a star aren't out of luck. In addition to driver's licenses, other forms of ID will be accepted. Those include a valid passport, state-issued photo ID card, a Department of Homeland Security trusted traveler card such as Global Entry, U.S. military ID, or a Department of Defense employee ID card. Since the TSA does not require children under the age of 18 to provide identification when traveling with a companion within the United States, minors won't need a real ID or other acceptable ID.
We're asking people to determine whether you need a real ID or not. We've set up a special website called GetRealNevada.com that has an interactive checklist, and it asks you questions to see if you really need a real ID or not. If you do need one, we ask that you bundle it with another DMV transaction. If you're going to be coming in to renew your driver's license later this year, or even register a car, get a real ID at the same time you do that so that you're not making multiple visits to the DMV.
The October 1st deadline is approaching, but there's still time to get a real ID and carry on with travel plans. Remember, without the star, you won't go far.
To reach out to our growing number of Hispanic customers, this episode of Flight Path features a segment in Spanish with English subtitles. Here's more about the pickup locations of ride-hailing services Uber and Lyft. Guests often ask where to go to meet their driver. Here's a look at how to get from the gate to the pickup areas.
Es muy fácil solicitar el servicio de transporte Uber o Lyft desde el aeropuerto a su domicilio, hotel o otro destino, utilizando su teléfono inteligente. Simplemente usa la aplicación y pide su servicio cuando está lista para abordarlo.
Las zonas para encontrarse con los servicios Uber o Lyft están ubicadas en los estacionamientos de Terminal 1 y 3. En la Terminal 1, el sitio para abordar el servicio fue cambiado del nivel 2M al nivel 2. Haciendo más fácil su localización.
Para encontrar a su conductor en la Terminal 1, salga de la zona recolección o baggage claim de equipaje y sigue las indicaciones para encontrar el servicio Uber o Lyft. Tome el ascensor a la escalera al nivel 2. Cruza el puente ubicada en nivel 2 y dirigirte al estacionamiento a la derecha para ubicar donde encontrarás el área marcada designada para el conductor de Uber o Lyft. Los pasajeros que llegan a la Terminal 3 encontrarán el área de Uber o Lyft en el servicio de piso de servicio de valet. Desde el área de reclamo de equipaje o baggage claim, toma el ascensor y sube a nivel 1. cruzar el puente en nivel 1, bajar el nivel marcada B para el servicio de valet. Ahora ya sabe cómo encontrar los sitios de solicitar su servicio Uber o Lyft antes de su viaje. Si necesita ayuda en la terminal, pregunta al personal. Para obtener más información sobre transportación en el aeropuerto de McCarran, visite nuestra página web en mccarran.com/transportación.
Busy travelers are always looking for variety in an airport shopping and dining offerings. At McCarran, we aim to please with vending machines selling everything from cupcakes to cosmetics, as well as popular shops and restaurants. Here's a look at some of the newest businesses to join the lineup.
Passengers in search of a quick bite to eat, the perfect Vegas souvenir, or even a place to relax will find no shortage of options at McCarran. Airport vending machines offer much more than chips and sodas. Electronics, personal necessities, and battery chargers are a quick and easy transaction away. But a few recently installed machines dispense even more unique and popular items. Fans of Kylie Jenner can shop her cosmetic line in automated retail machines located in the A, C, D, and E gate areas. For Vegas-themed gifts crafted by local artisans, shoppers need look no further than the souvenir machine in the C concourse. To satisfy a sweet tooth, travelers can head to a Sprinkles cupcake machine in either terminal. And getting something fun for the whole family is easy since McCarran is home to the only airport Lego machine. It's located post-security just beyond the AB gate checkpoint.
We have a new company who's operating the specialty retail vending machines now, and they've been really good about bringing in new and unique products, and it's a great opportunity for a parent who may be in Las Vegas for a convention or a business to pick up something that they can bring home to their son or daughter or family member as a gift.
McCarran welcomed Jimmy John's to the family late last year. The sandwich shop offers an additional dining option in the pre-security area in Terminal 1, perfect for customers waiting for friends to arrive or for those who want a quick meal to take to the gate. For travelers who want to get a head start on planning their Vegas adventure, there's now a full-service concierge in Terminal 1 baggage claim. Envy Star can help with show tickets, tour bookings, restaurants and nightclub reservations, and even arrange childcare.
The more we can offer our customers to make them comfortable as they travel and satisfy any needs or wants that they may have and help them to relax on their journey is good for everybody. It's great for our customers and it's good for us and the businesses that support the airport.
Flyers who need to relax and unwind before or after a flight can head to the newest Express Spa located in the B gates. Spa services include massages, facials, and nail care. Express Spa also sells eye masks, neck pillows, and other travel products. At a new chiroport in the C gates, travelers can treat themselves to chiropractic services like trigger point massage, stretching, and adjustment.
A more relaxed customer is a better customer. Sometimes after a long trip sitting on an airplane you don't feel so great. It's a great way to get the blood circulating again and to help you feel better on your journey.
With new innovative shopping and dining options in place and more coming in the future, McCarran will continue to provide a seamless travel experience to meet passengers' every need.
Now you're ready to pack your bags and fly the skies, so have a great trip. Remember to check us out on Facebook and follow us on Twitter, and use all the resources of our website, McCarran.com. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Flight Path.